Welcome, well, welcome everybody to 1 hour of miniature goodness. Sorry, I'm laughing at chat already. Uh, Welcome everybody. We have. I've lost it before I even started. It's Tal, it is. He's doing my nutting already. Okay. Right, tonight we are painting the demonic Lasher. This is sculpted by Jean Van Home. Absolutely beautiful miniature. I'll give you a little 360. Now, I've already added some primer coats to the miniature. Come on, tears are running down my eyes. I've already added some primer paint to the miniature. I've got some reds. Let me carry on. We got garnet red is our main one for the body. I have used some dragon white on the base and some dragon black for the base as well. Okay, so again, absolutely gorgeous miniature. Now this is, I don't know if I've already said his name now, so it's kind of ruined that surprise for when I normally talk about Tal. But Tal is a bit of an old school D&D player. Now, the demonic Lasher, isn't this one of the first kind of Dungeons and Dragons types of miniatures? I think James is in chat as well. He might be able to tell us. Now, Reapermini made a metal version of this, which was many years ago, which I've already painted a few times. But this is the new updated Bones 5 plastic version. Absolutely beautiful. Now, today we are going to be, I'm going to show you how to paint the lava base. Very, very simple, fast lava base. And we do some wet blending and just some nice dry brushing around the miniature. So a nice little show and very, very enjoyable. Now here's Mr. 4 scale for size. As you can see, it's another massive miniature, but acceptable size. It's not oversized. I think it's a nice party killer size. Let me say hello to people in chat anyway. Now, I know my Scorpila's in there. Michelle's in there. And I just want to say lots of love to Michelle. It's absolutely fantastic that I was able to talk to you today. You made me very, very happy. And all the best to you. Love you so, so much. We all do. Okay, let me see who else is in chat. We have Stuart's in chat. We have Rod. Hello, Rod. I'm going to call Rod the Lord of the Rings man now. Rod is the Lord of the Rings man. We got Gareth the Star Wars man. Rod's the Lord of the Rings man. Who else is James McCoy, of course. James McCoy is ultimate DM. Absolutely amazing guy. Great friend as well. We have Ty's in the house. Hello, Ty. And I've said his name once. I won't say it again. And we have Tal. Okay, let me start. Or it will be finished before we begin. Now, I haven't glued the demonic Lasher to the base, but let's get a closer little look. Absolutely gorgeous miniature. Now, of course, to start off with, I have used garnet red for the base coat of the miniature. Now, as you can see, I've used dragon white on the two tentacle arms. Now the reason I've done that is because we're going to wet blend the garnet red into the tentacles using the pink. So we've got a nice lovely pink there. So what we're going to do today is wet blend red into pink, going lighter and lighter down the tentacles, and that'll look absolutely fantastic. So that's the plan for today. Also, I'm going to quickly show you this base. If I can put this little man somewhere. There we go. Let's stick you over there. Now the base is a lava base. As you can see, it's got some nice little bubbly lava places on there. So what we and I put some dragon black, and this is dragon white, couple of coats. You want the base as bright as possible because we're going to use ink washes for the lava. But first of all, we need to get the rocks done. So I'll quickly fly through these rocks and get them all painted before we start on the actual ink washes. You're all getting titles now. Oh, oh, Tal, oh, Tal. I'm gonna think of something good for you, my friend. Oh. I suppose we could call Tal Rottentooth. At the moment, my dear friend Tal, he is in so much pain. He's got a really bad toothache, and I feel for him because I get really bad teeth as well and abscesses, and he's got the nastiest abscess going. The face, I mean, his face is probably swollen up like a like a fat monkey. But oh, I hope he gets it sorted soon, because toothache is absolute worst. It's horrid, absolutely horrible. Nobody likes having toothache. When you get toothache, of course, you can't do anything because all you can think about is the pain of your teeth. Oh, I'll think of something nice, Tal. I won't let you down. I won't let you down, buddy. Hello, Gareth, Star Wars man. Will you be safe in work, my friend? So just getting this grey on. This is just for the main rocks. Now it is a lava base, so I'm going to keep it quite dark on the actual grey. So we're just going to go over a little bit. Very, very simple to do, these little bases. But of course they make such a difference to your miniature when they're finished. And of course, we always make sure. What do we make sure we do, Rod, with the rims of the bases? What do? We make sure they're nice and clean. Tidy. Good boy. Alright, I need a little bit of dragon white on my palette. Just mixing a little bit of dragon white with the grey. This grey is Tempest Grey, by the way. And what I'll do is just highlight the top areas, just a tiny bit. Just to pick out the tops of the rocks. So you don't need a lot for the base, because the actual demonic slasher is actually taking up most of the base anyway, so but it does look very nice to get that base finished before you actually make a start on the actual beast, and before you stick it on, it makes it a lot easier. Okay, that's all we need to do. Perfect stuff. We wash our brushes. Now for the actual lava effect, like I say, we've got quite a bright light coming off here today. What we'll do is we're trying to, if I put it on an angle like that, you can see, but then the ink wash is going to run. What I'm going to use first is the contrast iodine, I don't know if I'm saying that right, Iodine Yellow by Games Workshop. Very nice ink wash. It's a contrast. It gives a nice fiery effect. It's fantastic for flames on all your miniatures. And of course I'm using some of my 90s paints. It's quite strange, but even up to this day I still haven't found ink washes that give the same beautiful red effect as the very old 90s hex pots originals from Games Workshop. These ink washes, if you can find them on eBay or anywhere, absolutely a must-have. Gorgeous stuff. So we've got a little bit orange. if I can get the lids off. You've got to have super... There you go. So we've got a nice little orange. Nice little red. Now there for the sides, what we want is this beautiful yellow on the middle. So let's get this into a holder so we don't spill it. I'll just use a brush here. And it works absolutely fantastic for what we want. So all we do is go over the white hairs. This is a double layer, 2 layers of dragon white, and all we do is we go over the whole of the white with this beautiful contrast paint, and it's almost instantly fiery. It's awesome stuff. Now we've got to go quite quickly. Just let it go into the recesses. It does the magic itself. It does all the work for you. I can't recommend this actual contrast paint highly enough. If you've got lots of flames on your miniatures, this is absolutely amazing stuff. Now while that is wet, what we can do is move a little bit of paint if it's going to come off. Now it's dried already. There we are, a little bit off the tops there. Just on the top of the bubbles, just try to remove a little bit more paint. What we'll have to do is add a little bit of white to the tops of them to loosen them up a bit. But that looks absolutely fantastic already. Now I'll quickly show you the rest. We'll move on to the other side, and then we'll do the edges. Right, like I say, you've got to be quite quick with this because it can dry very fast on thin layers, especially on those bubbles. So what we're trying to do is, I'm not going to remove this before here. You just want it as light as possible on the top of the little lava bubbles, as I call it. There you go. And we just move our way around. Just let the ink wash go into all those little recesses and circles on the base. Again, I'm just going to remove a little bit of excess there. Lovely. Now, for the final effect for these, we go to the walls of the lava balls, and we start adding these 2 red ink washes. So we use a little bit of a larger brush, and I'm just going to go into the orange first. We might not need the red. We might just stick with the orange. And we're just going to the tight to the wall with the orange. And we're going up the wall a little bit, as that's adding like a light source from the actual lava. Okay, a little bit more. Start bringing it out a little bit more from the wall. So we've got a nice orange effect. And we do the same on the other side. We just follow the side of the wall, go all the way around. And around the base at the top. Now, we don't need to add the red because it's actually working very well already, but I will add a tiny bit anyway. A trick I use is dry brush white over the top after layers. Yes, that's another way to do it as well. Just do a little dry brush on the top of the bubbles. That would work perfectly well. Thank you very much, James. What I'm going to do now is add just a tiny little hint of red. And this will just even deeper into the recess, and it's just a tiny little touch of red. Don't need a lot at all. but it's just the finishing touch to give heat and a little bit of colour and light going up the sides of the rocks of the flaming base. There we are, and that's the lava base. Simple as that. Awesome stuff. Looks fantastic. And of course we have to paint them black. We have to paint the black rim to make sure it's nice and tidy. Okay, moving on. Let's make a start on the Lasher. Right, I'm going to have to hold this one for the time being. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some garnet red onto my palette. Lots of garnet red. And we've got some white on there. And we just use this brush here. And what we'll do is we'll start highlighting the actual muscle tones of this miniature, and that's very simple. We're just going into, let me get this out of the way actually, it's not going to work there. Yeah, we can see that okay. Yeah. So we're just going to start working on the actual body tones of this miniature first. We'll take 5 seconds. Just adding a little bit of white here. More red. I'll just quickly go around all the skin areas just to quickly pick out the highest areas, especially on the faces. Now all the fur is going to be brown and black, so what we're trying to do is just hit all the areas that's got a skin tone first. Scales. Again, when we're painting scales, we always go up the scales, so we're leaving that dark colour and a nice shade. This is why I picked the darkest red. Demons are so easy to paint. I find demons, you're looking at reds and blacks. So it's a very nice simple combo to make a nice looking miniature very fast. Back into the red, a little bit more white. Just hitting the bottom of the scales there. Okay, let's lighten that up a little bit on the face. A little bit more white into the red. Again, a little bit more white. This just brings out the face a little bit better. Now all this fur on the back we're going to paint black, but what I want to show you first of all is I want to get the wet blending done on those arms, the little tentacly arms. Now wet blending, like I said to you many times before, it can work very, very well if you like wet blending. It can become almost what you use more than anything else for painting your miniatures. It's a fantastic thing. It does take a while to master how to wet blend, but once you've got the hang of it, it's actually faster It's one of the fastest ways to paint your miniatures to get a nice effect. Okay, right. He is a mean and nasty beastie. He is a very mean and nasty beastie. Now, for the wet blending on the arms, again, we've got this white on the tentacles of his arms. So what we're planning to do here is we're going to start off with the same red we've done the body. So we'll layer on the paint on the arms, and then we're just going to add the pink and slowly bring it out so it gets lighter and lighter going down the arms. So this will take a little bit of time, but it'll be worth the effort. Towel. There we go, I have to pour some pink out there. Right, for the wet blending, I'm just using an old brush because I'm just going to load up the brush. I'm actually going to add it to my tissue as well, just to make sure I don't overload the brush. See if we can get a better position. Now, here we go. What we're doing is just adding the paint here. And it can be quite tricky because it's quite a fair size, this one. So we're going to load up the paint. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to start going into the pink and add the pink on here, and then add it to the actual miniature, and then start pulling that red down into the pink. Oops, helps if you can see what I'm doing, sorry. It's a bit difficult when it's a large miniature to keep it on the camera. So what we're doing is just going slowly down, and what we're doing is making it lighter and lighter until it's kind of almost white at the end. Now it is very hot in my workshop today, so I might have issues with it drying too fast, but we'll see. We'll see how we get on. I'm going into the zone now, guys, so excuse me if I am ignoring anybody that's in chat. The key to the wet blending is making sure you're just going lighter each time you're adding the next brush stroke. So we keep on going lighter and lighter. Now we're on pale pink. Thank you for following, Water Lily. And thank you for the cheer. So now we've got to the stage on the tentacle where we got to the exact color pink. Now what we're going to do is start adding white to the pink, and then we can blend it into the rest of the miniature. So now we start adding a little bit of that dragon white to our pink to make it lighter. So it's getting lighter now with our colors, and it should just, yeah, perfect. So we're just working our way down. do the same all the way around. Like I say, with the wet blending, you do have to be quite fast. Thank you for subscribing, Bull GM. How many months is that? Let's have a look. 18-month streak. Wow, awesome stuff. Thank you so much. Oh, by the way, I think I'm only 8 followers away. 8 followers away from the actual dragon giveaway above my head there. Okay, so we're going lighter and lighter. I gotta keep on painting, guys, because if this dries, it kind of ruins what's going on. So I gotta quickly get this bit done. All we're doing is adding white to the pink now. We're not using the red anymore. Back into the white, just adding a little bit more. So it's just lighter and lighter. Absolutely beautiful stuff. I've actually gone a little bit too white there. Got to take that back a little bit. There you go. If you add too much white, just go back into the original color before you added the white, and then just keep going back over, and you'll get rid of anything. It'll blend back in nicely, like I've just done there. Okie dokie, moving on to the front side again. Like I say, it is quite a tricky paint tonight, but it's well worth the finishing look for your miniature. Again, going back into the dragon white, just mixing it on the tissue, and again just adding that to the tentacles. So getting lighter and lighter. You almost want it so it ends up almost pure white at the end, but as long as it's a lot lighter than the initial starting point, that's what you're after. There we are. So this bottom tentacle is done. And just carrying this one. Back into the white again, and just a little bit more. There we go. So we can just finish off here, a little bit more there. And back into the white, and just to finish off the end. Lovely, lovely jubbly. There we are, perfect stuff. So that's how we do our wet blending. So you got a lovely rich red going down lighter and lighter and lighter. So we get to what happens then when we get to the middle. We've got to our initial pink. So this has got to the same pink color, and then we start adding the dragon white to the rest of the tentacle. So we're going red, red, pink, then pink, white, all the way to the end there. And it just gives an absolutely fantastic effect to those tentacles. So what we'll do is we'll carry on with the next one, the other arm, get that one finished, so you can see again what I did. I need to load up my palette again though, so excuse me for a second. And I need to drink some of my Ribena wine. Okay, so we got pink, we got red, so it's mainly just dragon white I need. A bit more dragon white. Oh, I never said hello to Stuart in chat, did I? Hello, Stuart. Just saw Stuart there. Your dragon diorama is very, very nice, by the way, Stuart. Looking good. Okay, so once again, we start off with the initial colours. We start off with that dark red to begin with. And we just add that to there. Now, of course, I've added the dragon white to start with. This helps the colours to become lighter. Now, the rest of the miniature I wanted dark, and that's why the rest of the miniature was painted in a dark red. There is method in the madness in everything we do. Okay, so we start adding that pink to the red, and it's a 50-50 mix to begin with. So you've got 50% pink, 50% of the red. And of course, again, you still have to be quite fast because my workshop is absolutely roasting today. We've got the radiators on. There's some big storms going on in Scotland today, so it's been very cold, and we've been all kind of wrapped up, snuffling and cozy in the house. Okay, a bit more pink. So what's happening now is I'm adding more pink to the mix. Just pulling the paint into the next colour. A little bit more pink. And then we've got pure pink going into the top of the hands here. You want the kind of matching the pink where it blends in with the same. You want it to be the same size as on the other. You want the pink to match in with the other hand. So you want to try and work it so when you get to your pink directly from the bottle, it's in the same place on your miniature. So it actually looks the same. It'll make both the hands matching. It won't be like a mismatch of different paints. So we try to keep them the same on both hands. Okay, so now we can start going back into the dragon white. So again, we added some dragon white to the pink, and then we start pulling that out very slowly. Like I say, it doesn't take long at all once you get started with the wet blending, and it does give such a beautiful effect. But it will take a little bit of time, but well worth the effort. Now tomorrow I shall be back doing the Lord of the Rings stream. I'll be pulling out some of the old Lord of the Rings minis. I shall be working on the Felbeast, but I also want to make a start on a brand new gaming board for Lord of the Rings. So I got one of the Forge World sets that I want to start painting on stream, which I will show you all tomorrow night. It's an absolutely beautiful set. Thank you for the cheer. Now my Friday shows are a very relaxed show. I keep on repeating myself about this. It's not a speed paint on my Friday shows. My Friday shows is just me painting my Lord of the Rings miniatures. It's a very relaxed show. It's more of a fanboy thing, but everybody is welcome to pop in and chat and stream. And my Reaper streams, I really am trying to show everybody a little bit of how to paint fast and easily on miniatures, and little techniques and ways to get your miniatures done. And I try to get most of the miniature that I can possibly done in an hour, and then I'll finish the miniature after the stream and make a 360 video, which always is nice to do. But I try to concentrate on little bits, like today I've showed you the base, which is looking fantastic. What we'll do with that base as well, when that's fully dry, is we'll cover that in a gloss varnish. That'll give it a nice little shine as well. Okay, so as you can see, these little arms are done. They look absolutely fantastic. They just work so well on this creature, this demonic Lasher. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start on the fur now. And for that, what we're going to do, I think we shall actually stick the miniature to the base. Now for sticking my miniatures to the base, I use liquid super glue. Not that one, that one's empty. This is one that's got some glue in it. I use the Loctite super glue for the plastic. And what we do is, I'll just put it around the parts here, just a little bit on the bottom, we don't need a lot. Oh, 1 second, I need to poke a hole in it. Oh, the nozzles actually, my nozzle seized up. 1 second. There we go. See, the pokey stick can even unclog your bottles of glue. Pokey stick! Who's talking about tossing dwarfs in chat? Okay, a little bit of super glue over there on the plugs, and we'll just quickly glue this in place. Just makes it a little bit easier for me to show you painting the rest of the miniature, and it gives you an idea how the miniature is coming on. Let me get this out of the way. Thank you for the chair, Bull GM. Most kind of you, sir. Right, now we can get our spinny wheel back out. So let's have a closer look how we're getting on today. So we've got the lava done, we've got his little arms done, got some of the skin tones done. Like I say, it's a very, very simple paint today. But what we want to do now is we want to start adding some black. I want all the fur black around the face, and that will also make the face pop. Pokey stick! There we get some black on there. And what brush shall I use? There we go. We'll use this. We'll carry on with the same old manky brush we've been using all afternoon. There we go. So all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to start adding black to all the fur areas. Nice and fast. Black and red just works so well together. What will happen is once this black is dried, we'll go over with a very, very light dry brush just to bring out a little bit of the flavors of the fur. Flavors of the fur, Ty. Flavors of the fur. Thank you for following. That is Spellhawk Press. Almost at the old 700 mark. Nah, someone's going to be getting themselves a beautiful dragon. I'm going to have to start thinking about what I shall do for the 800 followers, I think. It'll be a dragon, of course. In fact, what would you prefer for the 800? Would you prefer a monster or a dragon? So let me know in chat. Monster! Dragon! Beastie! All the dragons! I'm not worried. I've gone over with a little bit of black onto the skin. I'm not worried about that because we are going back over it in a bit. What we're just trying to do is get the initial black on. It's a very simple thing. Just go there. I'm just using a really old manky brush for this as well, so it's not. There we are. Now we can move on to a better brush. I just find if you are painting large miniatures, there's no point using the worst thing. Thank you for subscribing, James. The worst thing you can do is use a small little brush. So many people will paint a huge miniature and they'll be using. I mean, this is a size 2. Thank you for following. It's True Blue. Lots of people will paint a huge miniature like this with a size 2, which is probably your largest size that you'd use for miniature painting in most respects on your miniatures. But what you'll find is because you're painting such a large miniature, you will overload the brush because you're trying to get as much paint on there as possible fast. So it's very important that you do upgrade to a big fluffy brush or whatever just to add more paint, because what will happen is you'll ruin your brushes because you are trying to get too much paint on at one time. Now I can go and start edging the... Hello Mokai, I haven't seen you in ages. How are you, Mokai? Now I can start edging around the fur and going tighter to the actual back of the miniature, and we can start ploughing around with the paint much faster. But when you're adding large areas, always use a larger brush. It makes it a lot easier, and you won't overload your brush, because you will get tempted to overload your brush because you'll be trying to fill the blocking and our colours too fast, as you say. Like I said, I got a little bit of black went onto the chest there, but that's not an issue. I can go over with red with that one. So all I'm doing here is going over the black areas, and here we start getting more detail, start building up the detail. That's why we got the smaller brush, and we can start moving in. Oh, it would. Sorry again. I keep on going off camera today, don't I? There we go. Let me raise that a little bit. There you go. There we are. Now you can see the top of the head. Excuse me for my crappy video where I'm trying to paint and keep an eye on you guys at the same time. I get carried away sometimes with my painting, and I don't look what's going on. And again here, this little bit we can just paint in black. What I find is black and red just works so well. I know I keep repeating myself, but for demons, black, red, purples. Purple's actually a very good colour for demons as well. In fact, most of you who have been goblins for a long time, you'll probably know one of my ways of painting these demons is by actually starting my demons with a purple undercoat, and then I'll start highlighting with reds on top of that undercoat. But this is actually coming on very, very nicely today. Definitely will be finished within an hour or so. We've got some fur here. What we're just trying to do is hit all the fur areas with a little bit of black. Now, again, if you look where my hand is, I'm using the side of the table here on my wrist here. I'm using the side of the table to support my hand for the miniature. So I'm not freehanding. I've actually got support for my wrist by using the side of the table. This is why I'm able to keep a steady flow of paint and not shake all over the place. So if you can utilize any part of the workstation when you're painting, especially on large miniatures, it makes a world of difference. So just quickly going over all the fur areas. What I'll do is his hoofs I shall probably paint with a very, very dark brown. I'll probably go for my wood stain brown for the actual hoofs. Finish off the hoofies. Hello Tim, thanks for popping in. Although, if he says he's got no volume, he's not going to hear me say that. It is a nice mini. I don't know if Tim can hear, or if he's not watching or whatever, but Tim will probably remember the metal version of this miniature that I did many years ago from Reaper Miniatures. But this is the Bones 5 version, and again, it's an absolutely beautiful miniature. And like I say, it's a very nice paint as well. I would recommend this to beginners, just for the whole body. Any miniature that's got a large mass body area to paint, like dragons and monsters. Highly recommended for any beginners to start learning how to. Thank you for following. I'm afraid I can't pronounce your name, but thank you so much for following. So I would recommend this to any beginner. Now I am trying my best to start adding smaller miniatures to the show. Now I did the show the other day with the goblins, and it absolutely went fantastic. The goblins came out fantastic on show. I was really happy how I was able to paint such a small miniature on show. So I will try my best to do smaller miniatures for you all in the future. Like I say, I do the larger miniatures because it's much easier for me to show you techniques that you can actually introduce to your smaller miniatures as well. It just makes it easier for me and you guys to actually see what I'm doing on screen. What I'll do as well is this demonic Lasher also has lots of little spikes coming out of his body. So I think what we'll do is we shall get all those painted in black as well, because I'm really excited about how the black is working with this miniature at the moment. It's really playing off nicely with that red. So I reckon we can have some very, very nice effects. The black, the colours are just working very well. Like I said, I've got a little mistake there. I can paint over later with red, that's not an issue. And this is the thing with miniature painting. You can fix all your mistakes because it's a paint work. You can just paint over it. Like I say, I've got a little mistake there. I can just paint over with some red and it'll be fixed. Very, very simple. It's just finding the initial colour that you want to go back on. I'm just going to go over these little horns here sticking out of his legs. And on the tail. Just by adding these little bits, just adds a little bit more to the miniature. And like I say, because it's black, it's going to work so well with the lava. You've got that old, smelly, rusty, nasty coal effect, you know. Sooty, that's the word I'm looking for. If someone says sweep towel, there'll be trouble. Sooty and sweep. Hello, Renegade Shank. Thanks for the subscribing. You must be on what, 19? Yeah. Renegade Shank has been with me from the very, very beginning. 19 months I've been streaming for now. Wow. Wow, 19 months. I did have a little break in between my streaming, but I am quite regular now with the streams, and I'm trying to keep the streams regular, so it makes it easier for you guys to know when I'm streaming. Okay, well, I'm going to start wrapping today's show up because we're nearly on time to say nighty night to you all. So let's have a little recap of what we've done tonight. Let me just wash my brush. I'll give you a recap. I love that. Tal has just said, "Oh wow, it's nearly 8 o'clock already," meaning this is the first show he's ever enjoyed, and time has flown. Okay, let's have a little closely look-see. I'll give you a little 360. Now, what we did today, we done the base. Now, the base was painted with Dragon Black. So we got Dragon Black on the base, and we used Dragon White, wherever that's disappeared to. We used Dragon White for the lava parts to begin with. Then we've gone over the Dragon Black, dry brushed the Dragon Black with some Tempest Grey, added some Dragon White to the Tempest Grey just to give that lovely effect on the rocks. And then we moved straight on to our lava effects. Now, the lava effects are absolutely super easy if you get a pot of this contrast paint from Games Workshop. Iodine Yellow. I don't know if I keep saying that right or wrong, but you can all see that one. So what I've done, I covered all the areas with the yellow, and then I just took off a little bit of the yellow on the tops where the bubbles are, just to lighten them off. What we can do, like James McCoy said in chat earlier, we can dry brush over the tops of those bubbles. Thank you for cheers. We can dry brush over the tops of those bubbles just to highlight them a little bit more, which I will do because I think that'll look fantastic. Cookie Mandius, hello. nice to meet you. And also, what we did then, we got the old hex pots from Games Workshop out. These are from the 90s. These are from my old collection. And we got the orange wash and the red wash. Now, we can use any wash you want for your ink washes. I just love these old ones. They're very bright and they give a lovely colour. And what we did here is we went over around the edges, first with the orange ink wash, and then we added a little bit of red to go up the rocks and give a little bit of reflection going around the rocks for our lava effect. Okay, so going on to the demonic Lasher. We started off with Garnet Red by MSP Paints, and then of course we had Dragon White on all the arms here. I went over, dry brushed all that over the miniature with some Garnet Red mixed in some Dragon White just on the chest. What will happen now? Thank you for following Silky Cake. Silly Cake? Silky Cake or Silly Silky Cake? Ooh. Thank you for following Silly Cake. What I'll do with the beast here as well is I will be covering the whole area here of the chest, all the skin areas. We shall be using a nun oil. This is I won't do it now because it's too late, but this beast will be covered completely in nun oil, and that will work absolutely fantastic for all the skin areas. And the tentacles here, they were wet blended, very simple, again using Garnet Red. So we've got the wet blend of Garnet Red going into a lovely pink, and when we got halfway through we blended down into pink. When we got to here, and then we started adding Dragon White, sorry, we started adding Dragon White into the mix to make it lighter and lighter and lighter, so you got this lovely effect on the end of the tentacles. So there we are, very simple. All I need to do to finish this now is a little bit of dry brushing on the black areas. I'll probably add a tiny bit of black to dry brush the fur, and then I shall give the whole miniature a part. I won't touch these tentacles, just the actual red body areas and the chest. That'll be given a wash of nun oil, and that'll be that finished. Very simple, but an absolute beast and fantastic miniature to paint. So there we are. Thank you everybody for popping on. It's been a fantastic show. Again, loads and loads of love to Michelle. I'm so happy we had that little chat earlier. You really made my day, and love to every single one of you, and thank you everybody for following. This is awesome stuff. When we get to 700, which we're really close to, so probably the next show, probably next week, if we get to that 700, I will do the draw live on my show to give away to one lucky follower. And then what I'll do is I'll paint the next miniature for the next giveaway. So until then, I shall see you either tomorrow or I'll see you Monday. If I don't see you, have a beautiful weekend and take care everybody.